I know most people don't really care to listen to me. I'm just a dumb, stupid, poor man that doesn't know anything. But I'm just trying. So I want to tell you the difference between gold and silver as money, according to the Constitution. No state shall coin money on anything but gold and silver as payments for debt, and fiat currency, which is created at the expense of our children. Okay. And then I want to share with you what a freeman is and a bondman. There's a freeman movement going on that the FBI demonizes, but in reality, they demonize a freeman because a freeman is not supporting their fiat currency, and a freeman is not throwing their children into the fire of debt. So, those who love the debt system, the bankers who gain power off the system, will demonize you if you're not propping up their power, if you're not propping up their fake money, if you're not supporting your own destruction. They will demonize you. So, with gold and silver as money, the way it works is you have to live within your means with gold and silver. With fiat currency, you live outside your means at the expense of your children. Because if you have gold and silver as money, when you run out of gold and silver, then you have to wait till you get more gold and silver before you can spend. So you're always living within your means. Fiat currency, on the other hand, gives you an unlimited supply of funds at the expense of your children. Basically what we've done is we started borrowing from the bankers, and then when we couldn't pay the debt, we ran out of gold. We threw our children into the fire through the birth certificate and the social security card. And that is where you become a bondman. A free man uses gold and silver. A bondman uses fiat currency. America is a nation of bondmen. In other words, there was a bond issued on us. In other words, we become surety for debt. So that's what the birth certificate is, which created a legal fiction which carries on to your social security card, which is a contract that when you sign it, you enter into an agreement with them that you're going to be surety. You're going to be liable for the debt, because now you're under the jurisdiction of the United States, which is a corporation owned by international bankers. 14th Amendment. If you are not born or naturalized, basically when you sign a birth certificate, you're naturalized into this system. When they made the 14th Amendment, it wasn't to free the slaves. It was to enslave everyone into this system of debt. Because after the Civil War, we became bankrupt. This country ended in bankruptcy. And that's why they created the 14th Amendment. Because we the people established the government which ended up in the control of the international bankers, created the citizen, which is a citizen of the international bankers. You enter into Babylon. In essence, you become a beast, because now Babylon is reigning over you. You're a beast because now you're in debt. You're a beast because now you're a bondman. You're not a free man any longer. And a beast cannot think. They just do what everyone else does. So that's what people do now. is that you tell them, well, the Social Security card is a fraud, and they go, well, everybody else does it. Everybody else does it. My neighbor's doing it. Everybody does it. I mean, how am I gonna work? I mean, poor people. I mean, that's exactly what Esau did. He gave up his freedom for a bowl of porridge, which is what the security card offers you. Is it offers you security, but it's delivering none of that, because our country is going to hell. It's your ignorance. The Social Security card is powering your own destruction. You have to understand what the Social Security card is, what the debt is, what the fiat paper currency is. George Washington called it a fraud. He said, let's see if I could find it here. He said, but if in the pursuit of the means we should unfortunately stumble again on unfunded paper money or any similar species of fraud, you see, George Washington admitted it's a fraud because we're not told what's happening. This is the interesting thing about fiat currency, is that when America was founded, we were sovereign. That's why they need a Social Security card, because you have to give up your sovereignty. Because if you're sovereign and another man decides he wants to borrow to, a leader, a congressman wants to borrow to fund a program, he has to have your consent. So that's what the Social Security card is. It is your consent giving his borrowing fiat currency value, so he can continue to take care of you. But all the while the bankers are getting rich. So this is the fraud, because you're not made aware of these details. And also Edward Mandell House, he said, that this will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations. Type these words in and get this quote, because it's very powerful. I'll just say the quote. It says, this is a quote from Edward Mandell House, a banker representative, as he spoke to Woodrow Wilson in 1913 at the passage of the Federal Reserve Act. He said, very soon every American will be required to register their biological property, that's their children, in a national system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. That's the birth certificate. It's a bond. It's a pledge. And you sign to the pledge without your even knowing it. That's why it's a fraud, because you were never told. By such methodologies, we can compel the people to submit to our agenda, their wars, all of their propaganda, just everything they do to take our liberties, because they're the ones taking our liberties, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. So we give value to their fiat paper trash, their junk money that gives them power. Every American will be forced to register or suffer being able to work or earn a living. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever by operation of the law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions. Americans, by knowingly or unwittingly delivering the bill of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt. So we're bankrupt. The Social Security card is an instrument of bankruptcy. What happened is we were borrowing their fiat currency. In exchange, we had to pay them back with gold and silver. So we ran out in 1933, which is why we have to have a Social Security card. so that our labors will give this fiat paper currency value, so our politicians can continue borrowing, which are really under the control of the bankers. So really, it's all a system for the bankers. It's a curse. It's a cancer. This fiat currency is a cancer. This will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. So if you have a Social Security card, you are partaking in fraud, and you think you're going to get one thing, Social Security benefits. You don't know how many people I know have tried to capitalize on this so-called benefit and have been left high and dry, because it's a fraud. It's nothing but a bunch of crap.